Ryan went out for a run today, and I'm not exactly sure why, because there was nothing big and scary chasing us. We're Ryan and Abby, and this is Lost Among Locals. On this week's episode, we're going to take you through Athens and show you all the free stuff to do. Okay, so we realized like touring a cemetery is kind of weird, right? So these Roman baths were found when they went to dig the subway, and they're like, oops, ruins. Greece can get a little bit expensive on the wallet, but there are tons of amazing things that you can do for absolutely free. Let's go. Well, look who finally decided to grace us with his presence. And his fanny pack. This is Hadrian's Arch, and it was built for the Emperor Hadrian. Yes, we're in Greece. Yes, he was Roman, but Greece was under Roman rule for a while too. So in 131, Hadrian had this arch built, and it was the gateway between Old Athens and New Athens. So on one side it says, this is Athens, city of Theseus. On the other side it says, this is Athens, city of Hadrian, and not of Theseus. So I guess you put a stamp on it. He just goes, oh look, it's some type of statue. Number 2, visit the National Gardens, complete with Roman baths. I wish we still had public bathhouses. Like, I wish that was still a normal thing. Everybody likes a hot tub. So these Roman baths were found when they went to dig the subway, and they're like, oops, ruins. So they excavated these ruins, protected them, and they moved the subway shaft a little bit south. That's really hard to say. They moved the subway shaft south. Say that 5 times. People, we have discussed this. This is rude. Stop it. Stop it. So the National Garden is a really lovely place to like grab a souvlaki and come for lunch or a picnic. There's a zoo within the gardens. There's a free cinema during the summer at nighttime. They show movies near the fountain. There is a botanical garden. There's a lake, and there are tons and tons and tons of trails that are like really manicured, and it's just like a lovely, cool walk, especially when it's so hot today. This is the Pale Hall. It was built in the 1800s for the first modern Olympic Games. Now it is a conference center. It's in the park.
There's so little.
Number 3, visit the First Athens Cemetery. Okay, so we realize like touring a cemetery is kind of weird, right? But bear with us. Like, cemeteries in Europe can be really, really beautiful, and these monuments are like architectural masterpieces, and like each one has its own design, and they're really lovely. And also, we just think that like every beautiful human should get to be buried in a place like this.
Goodness. Is the king, emperor?
Wonder what it cost to have one of these babies.
Yeah.
So there are orange trees all over Athens, and I'm so tempted just to like pick them all up and take them home and have free food, but then I'm like, are they polluted? Because no one seems to be taking them. But they're just all over the streets, like just lining the street. There's just smushed oranges everywhere. So this cemetery is not creepy at all, except the cats. And there's cats everywhere. Cats are creepy.
You gotta go into the underground to find the treasure, right?
What? Oh, Don't worry, people. I'm not going to let him bash through anyone's grave in search of treasure. So, at first I thought this one was really creepy. And then I thought, oh, it's really sad. There's like a child suckling. And then I noticed it was from 1941. And so I don't know if it's a Holocaust victim, or it certainly has that appearance.
And we went over to the walking street up to the Parthenon. The problem was, to eat over there, everything is a lot more expensive. You do get the view, but everything is like way more, like double, triple what it should be. So we actually started to walk to our next destination, and we stopped at this little restaurant that we saw on a side street that was full. I mean, all the tables were full. It's called Olympian, and we ordered our food, and it is fantastic.
So Ryan got some kind of stuffed chicken with peppers and cheese. These french fries have crack on them, I don't even know, and I got the spinach pie. But yeah, this place is super cute. There's a ton of people here, and it was pretty cheap.
And it's a whole lot cheaper than the other.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the Panathenaic Stadium, and it's just outside the National Gardens. It was built for the first modern Olympics in the 1880s or 90s, and you can pay to go in and like see all the memorabilia and stuff, or you can just admire it for free. What is up, guys? I'm emerging from my travel planning cocoon. You should ridiculous see how hard it is to get all these ferries mapped out right now for island hopping in Greece. Holy moly, I have notes everywhere, the whole bed, everywhere. But anyway, Ryan went out for a run today, and I'm not exactly sure why, because there was nothing big and scary chasing us, but he decided to run. And he apparently found this hill that is just fantastic and has an incredible view. And so now he's dragging me out of the work mode and to go climb a hill. So here we go. Coming. I'm coming. It's so pretty. Good job, babes. Alright guys, we have made it to the top of Philopappos Hill. We are next to Monument Philopappos, or Philopappos, or Philopappos, or something like that. And look at this crazy. This is a nicer view than the other one, for sure. Alright guys, so basically on Google Maps you want to find the hill of Philopappos, and from there it's like a park. It'll show up as a big green park on your map, and basically there is a ton of trails from this area. Just pick one and go up. You can't really go wrong as long as you're heading up.
Your bum. Finally got out of the apartment.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, he did good. Good job. Okay guys, at the base of the Acropolis there is a paved walking street. We think it's part of the Panathenaic Road, but it basically weaves its way all the way around the Acropolis through beautiful garden areas, and it goes through a bunch of neighborhoods like Plaka and Monastiraki. There's just a lot of little alleyways, beautiful shops, and if you have an hour or so, it's worth it just to walk around this road. It's a free thing to do in Athens. It's absolutely beautiful scenery. There's views of the Agora, views of the Acropolis from all sides. There's a great place to see sunset, which we'll show you later, and it's just a good place to spend a couple of hours for free. This is actually one of my very favorite things to do in this part of the world. Athens, Italy, parts of like Cinque Terre and Capri, is to wander these side streets. Like, I just find them super interesting. The architecture is beautiful. The doors are always crazy, amazing, and beautiful. And they're just very interesting. And it's like the lives of normal people, right? Like, you just get to see where they lived, what their gardens looked like, and they still pretty much look the same today. So just super interesting. Little baby church around every corner. This is a surprise. This place is incredible. Very inconspicuous church, like no markings, nothing hidden in a back alleyway. Hey babe, I wonder what all these like placards are that like people have hung. Okay, so we just ran into 3 of the monks for the Eastern Orthodox religion that were outside of that little church, and this whole area is kind of their monastery area. So we got to have a really good conversation with them. We did not want to put the camera in their face due to their monk lifestyle. That would not be appropriate, but they were very wonderful, and through limited English we were able to understand that the little placards that we saw are not prayer requests, but they're actually of thanksgiving. So like some of them would have been a hand, some of them were a baby, some of them were a leg, and they were things that someone had been praying about, and those prayers had been answered. So it was like a thank you to the Lord for the things that he'd done in that person's life. So really sweet sentiment. So glad to them for explaining that to us. They were very, very lovely. Gave us their recommendations on which islands to visit. Unfortunately, it's the 3 that I want to go to the most, and they're also the 3 that are the farthest away, most expensive to get to. So, of course. Okay, so the monk was also a little bit sarcastic. He was like, told us to go to Crete and Rhodes and Patmos, and he's like, don't go to Mykonos. There's nothing there. Like, no tourists, no nothing. And he like cracked a smile because Mykonos is very touristy and a party island. So
these little alleys, you don't know when you're going. You don't know if you're gonna end up at somebody's house, a room, a restaurant. I really don't know.
I mean, how pretty are these little streets? It's like, they're so pretty. All right, so we just ran into a local Angelo, and so we went back to him to ask him where the best place is to get a drink that doesn't cost $1 million. Like, we're super thirsty, we just want something to drink. And he was like, right here. He said, you come back tomorrow, I have everything for you. We were like, okay. He said, today I have nothing, but you come back tomorrow, I will have everything for you. Like, okay, we'll be, and I said, now I'm serious, we'll be back tomorrow. And he said, I will be here and waiting. There you are, right in your spot. How are you?
You don't have to.
Getting back.
There you go.
Alright, you guys, so we didn't want to keep a camera in Angelo's face, but we definitely had the best time with him. Spent about, I don't know, 2 hours just sitting here talking about the islands. So it's Angelo and his friend Nikos, who actually, his family moved here from Amalfi Island about 300 years ago because they brought over a bunch of workers from the islands to help the first king of Greece build his palace. And they settled in this area, and they've lived here for over 3 generations. It's the most lovely street, it's the most lovely area, and those 2 old men who have their coffee out at this table every single day are just the most lovely humans. If you want to see some of the archaeological sites on the way up to Philopappos Monument up at the top of the hill, we would suggest starting on the northeast entrance, the one closest to the Acropolis, coming in that way, and that way you can pass the prison of Socrates, you can pass the Church of Dimitri, and there's several other sites on the way up before we get to the top. So when Socrates the philosopher finally ticked off all the Athenians, he got himself locked up for a little while. And this is where legend says he was locked up. What we do know for a fact about this building is that it was probably 2 or 3 stories, and also it was used to hide all of the artifacts from the Agora and the Acropolis during World War II. They were brought here and hidden in these rooms. Creepy! Definitely looks like a prison. So this area on the side of Philopappos is called the Pnyx, we believe, P-N-Y-X. And it was the general assembly area during the time of Themistocles.
So this is the National Observatory up here on this hill.
Philopappos.
Philopappos.
Or Philopappos.
Philopappos Hill.
Who really knows?
So, yeah, this is just part of this whole complex area where there's a bunch of historical sites. There's really a lot, and it's all kind of scattered out. There's a ton of trails, and you're in a forest. I mean, it's really nice, actually.
I came up today to go back to the top of the hill to get some star shots, but honestly, it might be an even better view. Like, it's so much closer up of the Parthenon than the top of the hill is. It's literally so pretty from this spot. So this spot at the Pnyx, I think, is the best view that we've had of the Parthenon. Well, that ends our free stuff to do in Athens. But come back next week for part 1 of our epic road trip through the beautiful Peloponnesian Peninsula. We'll stop by Delphi and see where the mystical oracle lived. And then we'll go to Olympia, the home of the first Olympic, where Ryan wins the 100-meter dash and we meet an original Olympic torchbearer. See you next week. Are you lost again?
No, I'm just trying to figure out maps.
Yes. See, you might just be walking by and find the cutest little baby church. With the devil painted on the wall next to it. What's the matter there, boo?
Scratch my nose.
Silly. Move the subway set. And move the subway set. I cannot say subway shaft.
Oh, shaft.
Ryan's bed. That would be my bed. One day I'm going to get the hang of this living out of a suitcase thing. I found the shopping street.
Oh, jeez. We don't have any money.
Now be a peach and hit that subscribe button. And ring the bell too, so you don't miss next week's episode. Now get lost!